All right, Larry Kruger here from the Krug Show, the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show, live in Arizona. I love Arizona. We're having a great time, but it's hard to interact with Arizona. You know, so it's like, I want to, I mean, you know, it's like, you want to get close, but anyway, we're here at Papago Park on a blistering hot 68-degree day, and we're about to go see the Giants play this afternoon. Ow, ooh, Arizona will bite you. Arizona will bite you if you get too close to it. But we're about to see the Giants later today, and it's going to be good. We're going to be out in Salt River. It's going to be a good time. But we're here at Papago Park, and behind us is, Kev, what's it called again?
Hole in the Rock.
Hole in the Rock. Hole in the Rock. I mean, we are going to run right to that hole as fast as we can. But first, let's talk some Niners. We'll get the Hole in the Rock in the background. Big news in Niner land today. Now, we go on vacation for a couple days, see a couple baseball games, and what? The whole thing just blows up? I mean, that's basically what's happened. I mean, it's just every day something new. Schefter covering this team. Can I take a vacation? Can I just take a vacation? No, but seriously. And of course, we're brought to you, our sponsors are LearnKey Upskill Academy and Claudette Arcades. LearnKey Upskill Academy, and both of the links are in the description. If you're looking for a way to jumpstart your career, and I know a lot of people, are not where they want to be, check it out. They've got 200,000 students. They've been in business for nearly 4 decades. Great academy to jumpstart your career, to get new certifications in a number of different fields. Really, really big fans of them. And then Claudette Arcades, the best arcades in all of Northern California. They've got Southern California locations. They're going to have a Northern California location. Claudette Arcades, check them out. And thanks to both for being sponsors of the show. Actually, as we said, the trip down to Arizona. And the links for both, as I said, are in the description, and check those guys out. All right, let's talk some Niners, because there was a lot of news today. Aaron Banks, according to Tom Pelissero, is probably going to get a contract in the $18 to $20 million range. This is not surprising to me, to Kev, or to any of you, I'm sure, because Aaron Banks, has priced himself out. That's it. I mean, he's just a little too rich for their blood at this point in time. It's too bad, because Banks is a good dude, a good athlete who's going to have a long NFL career, and I think I would keep him. I mean, if I could, I would. But $18 to $20 million in free agency on one player, especially a guard, it's most likely not going to happen. Then you mix in all the Niner star players, and extending Purdy, and the timing of it. And it's sad, because this guy went to El Cerrito High. He's a NorCal guy. He's having his second baby. He's a good dude. I mean, really good dude. And he's a pillar of strength in that locker room. He's a pillar of that on that offensive line. I know, a lot of people called him a bust coming out of Notre Dame. He was not a bust. He's a damn good player. Now, he's not a perfect player. I'll be as critical as anybody. I'm the one who said Carl Brooks in the Green Bay game kind of beat him with quickness. I don't know if Aaron was not moving that well, but he got beat in that game by Brooks. Brooks isn't even their starter, and he kind of beat him pretty bad in that game with both speed and power. So Banks is going to get priced out. He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to do really, really well. Aaron, we're all about you, man. So if you're watching this, big fans of you, big fans of wherever you go, man. And whatever team you go to, man, I'll be rooting for them on Sundays because of you. So thanks, buddy, for all the interviews and all the good memories. And one of my favorite guys to talk to in the locker room, one of the guys, Caleb O'Meara's from the Niners, used to joke that Banks was my go-to guy. And it's not that he was just my go-to guy. The offensive line are usually great talkers, but Aaron's just such a decent dude. And yeah, we had a lot of good conversations. So I'll miss Aaron Banks quite a bit. I'm not getting emotional here or anything, but I'm gonna miss him. Teams were also notified that Javon Hargrave is healthy and will probably soon be released. Doesn't mean the Niners still won't get a pick, because it's all about jumping the line. If you feel like you can work something out, you could jump the line and give the Niners a pick in the 11th hour, but it sounds like they're just going to release him and let him be on his way. It sounded like the Niners were interested in having him potentially come back at a lower dollar figure, and have been in conversation with him. So, just because I would say this is a really interesting one to watch, because what kind of market does Javon Hargrave have? What I've heard is that the Steelers want him and that he's going to get a decent offer to go back there, and I expect that's what will happen. If not, if his market really falls apart, you could see him back in San Francisco. I would say I'd give it about maybe a 10% chance of him returning. Schefter also reported the Niners expected to lose Talanoa Hufanga in free agency. This is another one of my guys, man. I love Talanoa Hufanga. But, the bottom line is you can't have 3 strong safeties and no free safeties. And, Mustafa's a strong safety. Jair Brown's a strong safety. Talanoa, if he'd been able to stay healthier and stay healthy and consistently produce, I mean, he's a great player. They love him. Lynch loves him. They want him to come back. They will be desperately seeking him back, but they know his price tag's going to go out of, it's going to explode. He's another guy that I could see in Pittsburgh, because the Steelers are seeing that hair and they're, the connection to Polamalu, and they're like, bring him here. We all know he's not Polamalu. He's a good player for sure. But, he's going to get paid a lot, and they have Mustafa and they have Brown. And I expect the Niners to probably draft a safety in this draft as well. It was pretty clear for months, I think, that Hufanga was not going to be in the cards as far as price tag, and he's moving on. So another guy, Talanoa, if you're watching this video, man, thanks for all the great interviews. This dude came up to me. I said, hey, Talanoa, you got 5 minutes? And he was like, hey, man, I'm going to take a shower, and sometimes, guys be like, hey, that's like where like, hey, I don't want to do the interview. I'm like, no sweat. So I'm doing an interview with somebody else. He taps me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, man, I'm ready for that interview whenever you're ready. I'm going to be here for like 20 minutes. I'm like, he's pretty special dude. Pretty special dude. And I've said this, and I know it's cliche, but Talanoa Hufanga he is the kind of guy you would want your daughter to marry. He is a, straight up solid dude who's going to be a great addition in any locker room. He's going to be a phenomenal coach whenever he's done. And he's an impact guy in the box. If you have Earl Thomas, you would love to have, when I say Earl Thomas, obviously retired, the former Seahawk who played free safety, who's a great coverage guy, great defender down the field at free safety. If you played in the box, I mean, he's great at anticipating the run, shooting gaps, timing the mesh point, blowing up plays in the backfield. He's a huge talent. So good luck to Talanoa for sure. And then also Schefter says he expects Dre Greenlaw to leave in free agency. And this is the one that really is probably the worst part of news of the day, because Greenlaw has been pretty much the heart and soul of what they do on that side of the football, and he's their emotional leader, he's their physical leader, he's the most violent hitter, he's a tone-setting player. I hope that report is erroneous, but I fear it's not. And at this point, if you see guys, major, this is what happens when you pay your quarterback. You go from paying your quarterback $900,000 to potentially $60 million. There's going to be a huge reset on, there's going to be a huge reset on the rest of your roster and what you can afford and what you can't afford. And so you're seeing this report: goodbye Aaron Banks, goodbye Talanoa Hufanga, goodbye Dre Greenlaw. And it kind of makes you think about this upcoming year and think maybe the best plan at 11 is to trade back, and maybe the best plan is to not be as active in free agency but trade back into the draft and try to see how many of these players, maybe consider moving another player or two for additional draft assets, and see if you can have that monster draft on the tail end of last year's successful draft, because you're losing a lot of quality players. And I mean, Greenlaw, you lose Greenlaw, you're losing. You now, linebacker jumps to near top of the list of needs, with Dre Greenlaw out. And to me, the guy that I would say, if you said, what's the impact of this on what they may or may not do in the draft today, I would say, well, they knew that Banks was going. I think they're pretty fortified with Hufanga moving on. But the Greenlaw one, I think, changes. They need to go linebacker, an off-the-ball linebacker, a dynamic off-the-ball linebacker opposite Fred Warner would be a huge need. And to me, a guy like Jalon Walker from Georgia becomes almost like the perfect first-round pick if they could make it, because he's a dynamic off-the-ball linebacker who also provides pass rush and speed on defense, and he's an incredible player. And if you're gonna lose a Dre Greenlaw, you need an incredible player. So once again, Arizona will come back over here. I want to interact, but when I got close, it hurt. You know what I mean? It hurt. And but today we're gonna go watch the Giants in Salt River. It's gonna be awesome. Arizona, we love you. We love you, Arizona. I can't get any more than that. That's as close as I feel comfortable getting. But once again, Kev, where are we?
We are at Papago Park, Hole in the Rock.
Papago Park, Hole in the Rock. And man,
Look at that hole.
look at that hole. Let's look together. It's an amazing hole.
Nothing beats it.
Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to all of you. Thanks for supporting us at one amazing hole.